From which location was flight MH17 shot down? And how was the weapon brought there and removed again? The investigation team was able to answer those questions. Telephone traffic between those officers and their commanders was recorded. On several occasions during those intercepted conversations, they speak about where they are and the route to be followed. There are numerous witnesses who saw the Baktila pass by. The Baktila was photographed and filmed several times while being transported along that route. The photographs and video clips that the team found on social media were checked for authenticity. All telecom data and intercepted telephone calls that have been examined by the investigation team demonstrate that the Baktila was brought into the Ukraine from the Russian Federation. The weapon was transported in a convoy with separatists from eastern Ukraine to the final launch site. How did they proceed? Around 8 o'clock in the morning, a witness saw the convoy with the Baktila in Yanakiva.
Алло.
Алло. Ты где
Алло,
вообще
Николай.
сейчас? Ты две одну
Я сейчас...
или две привез, скажи мне?
Нет, одну, потому что там у них пошла непонятка, они наш трал не перекинули сюда.
Я
Они
понял.
грузили и своим ходом пригнали.
Смотри, ты ее не этот... Она своим ходом пришла или на трале?
О, перешла через полоску.
А сейчас ты привез ее на трале, да?
Да.
Значит, смотри, ты ее никуда не этот самый. Сейчас я скажу, куда ей выдвигаться, она вместе с танками Востока пойдет. Ясно, да? Алло.
Ага.
Сейчас.
Алло, понял.
Будь на связи.
Хорошо, все, ага.
The Baktila crossed the line, in other words passed the border, and was transported on a trailer. On several photographs and videos that we found on social media and otherwise, the Volvo can be seen bearing the Baktila with anti-aircraft missiles under a camouflage net. Witnesses that we have spoken to also testified that they had seen this vehicle with 4 missiles. In Donetsk, the convoy stopped for some time at 2 locations. First at a crossing, and later on, after the convoy had turned around, it stood still on a strip at the side of the Makivka highway. In Donetsk, the convoy was seen by many witnesses, and also frequent reports about this convoy appeared in social media. Paris Match published a photograph of the convoy in Donetsk in its magazine. In the meantime, the investigation team has obtained the original video footage of the transport in Donetsk. Starting at 1100 hours, the convoy continued on Main Road 21 into the direction of Makivka, Zurez, Torres, and ultimately to Shnichna. Several moving images have been made that show the truck with the Baktila. These videos, which are in the hands of the investigation team, were made in Makivka and in Zurez. In Torres, the convoy was also seen multiple times, of which the investigation team has managed to obtain new images clearly showing the Baktila and the escorting vehicles. Around midday, the white Volvo low-loader with the Baktila arrived in Shnichna. In Shnichna, the Baktila was loaded off the truck near the Furchet supermarket. From there on, the Baktila drove further on its own. In Shnichna, it passed by an apartment building. Then, the last moving images of the Baktila that are available show the system while driving towards its final destination. Is farmland near Pervomaisky. This is 21 kilometers southeast of the spot where flight MH17 crashed. This evidence shows without any doubt that this farmland near Pervomaisky can be pointed out as the launch site. What does the evidence consist of? The investigation team has recorded statements of many witnesses. Some witnesses were very close to the launch site when the missile was launched. These witnesses spoke about a very loud noise, a violent explosion, and a high whistling sound. Other witnesses have testified that they had seen a plume of smoke, that they had seen the Baktila at the launch site in Pervomaisky. This photograph of the inversion trail was made in Torres and was distributed through social media. The photo was examined by the Netherlands Forensic Institute. The NFI does not have any indications that this photo was manipulated. In addition, in the spring of 2016, after long research on social media, the investigation team found 2 new photos. Since it is difficult to see the inversion trail on the photographs, we show you the photos with the filter. The direction in which the witness was looking when he or she saw or photographed the trail. The spot where these visibility lines come together is located very close to the aforementioned farmland near Первомайский. There are also intercepted telephone conversations which refer to the launch location.
Далее.
Да, Лень, ты слышишь, это самое. Это получается за Снежным блокпост последний перед Степановкой. Налево. Правильно я сориентировался?
Вот ты в Степановке должен уйти направо, через поле идти на Снежное, да.
Ну да.
Вот иди на Снежное. Там я тебя
Понял.
дальше сориентирую.
The telephone of one of the participants to this conversation connects with the telephone tower, which is located closest to the launch site. The description of the surroundings in this conversation, the field and the forest, corresponds with the surroundings of the launch site in Первомайский. Several journalists went to the launch site near Первомайский. Some of them were shown a piece of land which had been burned. Other journalists spoke to inhabitants of the area, who told them that the field had been on fire on the 17th of July 2014. The satellite images which were made of this location on the 16th of July and the 21st of July were also examined. Because of the cloudy weather, images from the days in between could not be used. The images before and after the crash show significant differences. The photo of the 21st of July shows the charred and ploughed piece of land. Immediately after the launch, the Baktila was removed. There are hardly any images of the route along which the system was removed, since this took place late in the evening and during the night. However, we have been able to partially establish the route through analysis of telecommunication data and on the basis of the statement of a separatist who was involved in the removal of the Baktila. From there, the low loader went to Krasny Luch and then via Debaltseve to Luhansk. In Luhansk, in the early morning, a video was made of the Volvo truck with the low loader carrying the Baktila. One can see that at this point in time, there are only 3 missiles on the installation. From there, the transport moved on to the Russian border and then crossed that border. The JIT has intercepted telephone conversations which took place in the morning of the 18th of July 2014.
Они довели до перекрестка машину, оставили. Пацаны пошли дальше сами.
Так.
Все, машина ушла туда, куда надо. И дошла нормально, все.
Я
Там
понял.
просто начались непонятные звонки от 10 человек.
От каких 10?
Ну, на его номер начали звонить разные люди, представляться, что то один, то второй, то третий, то четвертый, то он говорит, я уже говорит, потом, говорит, сам Стрелков начал звонить, представился.
И он взял, выключил телефон. И мы не знаем, где машина вообще.
Машина в России.
Вчера, говорю, не знаем. Я вернулся только, там все нормально было. Ему позвонило 8 человек разных. Он передал машину, ему разные звонят, 8 человек. Он поэтому телефон и выключил. Никуда назад он ее не вел.
Так а доложить о том, что произошло, вы могли мне?
А
где
что докладывать?
Где сейчас машина?
Машина уже давно в России находится. Он ее сразу передал машину тем, кто встречал.